The silent drain. What is adrenal fatigue? Have you ever felt completely exhausted, not just tired, but like your body is running on empty even after what should have been a full night of sleep? You reach for coffee, hoping it'll snap you out of it, but the boost barely touches the fatigue. You wake up tired, you move through the day in a fog. You find yourself craving sugar or salty snacks just for a little hit of energy, and deep down, something feels off. This might be more than just everyday stress. You might be dealing with something called adrenal fatigue, a condition many people live with but few doctors acknowledge. It's not an official diagnosis, and it rarely shows up on a standard blood test, but that doesn't make it any less real for the thousands of people struggling with it every day. So, what exactly is adrenal fatigue? It starts with two small glands sitting right above your kidneys, your adrenal glands. These little powerhouses are responsible for managing your body's stress response. Every time you face pressure, whether it's a traffic jam, a tight deadline, a heated argument, or even just chronic worry, your adrenal glands release a hormone called cortisol. Cortisol gives you a burst of energy, raises your blood sugar to fuel your muscles, sharpens your focus, and helps your body react quickly. It's essential for survival, especially during moments of high demand. But in today's world, the stress never seems to stop. Day after day, your body is bombarded with demands, emotional, physical, financial, and over time, your adrenal glands can't keep up. At first they push harder, producing more cortisol, but eventually they begin to falter. The system that once kept you sharp and focused starts to break down, and that's when adrenal fatigue sets in. You feel constantly tired but also strangely restless. You lie in bed at night, unable to sleep, then drag yourself through the next day. You snap at small things. You forget why you walked into a room. You depend on caffeine just to function. Your body, in its attempt to protect you, is slowly burning out. Adrenal fatigue is not just about being tired. It's a sign that your body has been living in survival mode for far too long, and if left unchecked, it can affect nearly every part of your life: your mood, your immune system, your hormones, your metabolism, your sleep. The good news is that you're not powerless. You can rebuild. You can recover. And in this video, we're going to show you exactly how, step by step, in a way that's natural, sustainable, and grounded in how your body was meant to work. The hormonal orchestra, how the adrenals work. To truly understand adrenal fatigue, we need to understand the role of the adrenal glands. Not just what they do in times of crisis, but how they quietly manage your body's balance every single day. These small triangular glands sit right on top of your kidneys, yet they are responsible for producing some of the most important hormones in your entire body. When your brain senses any form of stress, physical, emotional, or even chemical, it sends a signal to your adrenal gland. In response, the adrenals produce hormones like cortisol, adrenaline, and aldosterone. Cortisol is the most well-known. It's often called the stress hormone, but it does much more than just help you react to emergencies. Cortisol plays a key role in regulating your metabolism, your immune response, your blood sugar, and even your sleep-wake cycle. In the morning, a healthy body releases a surge of cortisol to help you wake up, feel alert, and take on the day. Throughout the day, cortisol naturally rises and falls in rhythm with your needs. But when your life is filled with constant demands, arguments, deadlines, sleepless nights, poor food choices, and emotional overload, this rhythm gets thrown off. Your adrenals start producing more cortisol more often, and sometimes at the wrong times, like in the middle of the night when you should be asleep. Adrenaline, another hormone from the adrenal glands, is your fight or flight chemical. It spikes in seconds when you're suddenly startled or threatened. It speeds up your heart, sharpens your focus, and prepares your muscles for quick action. It's the hormone that helped our ancestors survive dangerous situations. But in the modern world, we're not running from lions. Instead, we're trapped in traffic, checking stressful emails or scrolling through upsetting news feeds. And our bodies react as if we're in real danger. That constant low-level adrenaline rush is draining your system. Then there's aldosterone, a lesser-known hormone that helps regulate your blood pressure and keep your fluids and electrolytes in balance. When adrenal function is disrupted, this hormone can fluctuate too, leading to feelings of dizziness when you stand up, low blood pressure, or even salt cravings. Altogether, your adrenal glands are like conductors of a hormonal orchestra. When everything is in tune, your body performs beautifully. Energy flows, mood is stable, focus is clear, and sleep feels restorative. But when stress takes over and your adrenals are pushed too far for too long, that harmony begins to break down. The rhythm gets distorted. Hormones spike at the wrong times or fall too low when you need them most, and you start feeling the effects: exhaustion, brain fog, anxiety, weight gain, and insomnia. Most people don't realize how much of their daily well-being is governed by these tiny glands. But once you understand their role, you begin to see that healing adrenal fatigue isn't just about resting more or cutting stress. It's about restoring the natural rhythm of your body, giving your system time and space to find balance again. Hidden symptoms. Signs you might be ignoring. One of the hardest parts about adrenal fatigue is how quietly it creeps into your life. It doesn't announce itself with one big moment. It builds slowly, almost invisibly. At first, you might just think you're having a rough week. You feel a little more tired than usual. You tell yourself it's nothing, just life, just work, just age. But over time, those little things become constant companions. You start waking up already tired, as if sleep doesn't refill you the way it used to. You snooze your alarm 3 times, your body feels heavy, you drag yourself to the kitchen for coffee, not because you enjoy it, but because you need it to function. And by mid-morning, the fog hasn't lifted. You have to reread emails, forget appointments, or walk into a room and forget why you're there. You start craving sugar, not just out of habit, but because your energy keeps crashing. You reach for snacks in the afternoon, not because you're hungry, but because your body is begging for fuel. Your mood starts shifting too. You feel more impatient, more reactive. The smallest things get under your skin. You snap at people you love. You feel guilty afterward, but you can't seem to help it. Then there's the sleep. You're exhausted all day, but when you finally crawl into bed, your mind won't stop spinning. You lie there staring at the ceiling, body tired, brain wired. Or maybe you fall asleep quickly, but wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning for no reason and can't go back to sleep, and the next day starts with the same groggy, dragging energy you thought you left behind. Maybe you've noticed weight gain, especially around the belly, even though your diet hasn't changed much. Or you're more sensitive to stress than you used to be. Things that once felt manageable now feel overwhelming. Even social situations start feeling draining, and you begin canceling plans just to rest. And still, when you go to the doctor, your tests come back normal, your blood sugar is fine, your thyroid looks okay, your iron is within range, and yet, deep down you know this isn't normal for you. Something inside you feels off. This is why adrenal fatigue is so often missed, because it mimics everyday life. It hides behind phrases like, "I'm just tired," or "I need a vacation," but it's more than that. It's your body's way of saying, "I can't keep up anymore." And the longer we ignore those whispers, the louder they'll get. In the next part of this video, we'll explore exactly what's behind that burnout, the silent habits, routines, and stressors that are draining your energy day after day without you even noticing. Because when you understand the cause, you can finally start healing for good. Root causes. What's draining you daily? Most people think of stress as something that comes from big moments, like a job loss, a breakup, or a health scare. And yes, those major life events absolutely have an impact on your body. But when it comes to adrenal fatigue, the true culprits are often much quieter. They're the daily, relentless demands that wear you down one small piece at a time. Let's start with the most obvious: lack of sleep. We live in a culture that glorifies productivity and hustle. Rest is often seen as laziness, and sleep becomes the first thing we sacrifice. Maybe you stay up late scrolling on your phone, or you're catching up on work long after dinner, or maybe you're just wired at night, unable to relax even when you want to. Over time, that chronic sleep deprivation chips away at your nervous system. Your adrenal glands, which rely on deep, restorative rest to reset, start to fall out of rhythm. The result? You wake up already depleted, and you spend your day chasing energy that never seems to arrive. Next, there's caffeine. In small amounts, it can be helpful. It gives you a quick burst of alertness and focus. But when you start depending on coffee to get going in the morning, then again in the afternoon, and maybe even after dinner just to push through, you're forcing your adrenals to work harder than they should. Caffeine stimulates cortisol. It tricks your body into thinking it's facing an emergency. So you stay alert, but at a price. The more caffeine you use to cover up exhaustion, the deeper that exhaustion becomes. Then there's your diet. If you're living on processed foods, skipping meals, or relying on sugar for energy, your blood sugar is likely swinging up and down all day long, and every one of those swings signals your adrenals to respond. A spike? Release insulin. A crash? Release cortisol. It's a roller coaster your body is trying to manage all day long, and it wears you out. Let's not forget emotional stress, relationship tension, financial pressure, loneliness, a deep sense that something in your life isn't working, but you're not sure how to fix it. These aren't just thoughts. Your body experiences them as real stress. Your brain doesn't know the difference between a deadline and a heartbreak. To your adrenals, it's all a threat, and they respond the only way they know how, by flooding your system with stress hormones over and over again. And finally, there's overcommitment. You say yes to everything. You work long hours. You take care of everyone else before yourself. You're constantly pushing, striving, doing. But you never pause to ask, how am I really feeling? Am I okay? Your body keeps up for a while, but one day the engine sputters. You crash, and you're left wondering why you can't bounce back the way you used to. All of these things, lack of sleep, caffeine dependence, poor diet, emotional overload, overwork, they add up. And together, they quietly push your adrenal system past its limit. But once you recognize these patterns, you can change them. And in the next section, we'll talk about how adrenal fatigue is often misunderstood and why so many people get told you're fine when clearly they're not. The misdiagnosis trap. Why doctors often miss it. One of the most frustrating parts of adrenal fatigue is how often it's misunderstood or completely dismissed by the medical system. You go to your doctor feeling exhausted, foggy, anxious, maybe even depressed. You explain that no matter how much you sleep, you never feel rested, that your energy crashes at strange times, that you're snapping at loved ones and losing interest in things that once brought you joy, and after a few blood tests, maybe a thyroid check, you're told everything looks normal. Your labs are fine. You're probably just stressed. Maybe you need more exercise, or the most common one, have you considered antidepressants? And while those suggestions might come from a good place, they often miss the bigger picture. Because here's the truth, adrenal fatigue doesn't show up on a standard lab report. It's not part of most diagnostic manuals. In fact, in conventional medicine, it's not officially recognized at all. That's partly because adrenal fatigue isn't the same as adrenal insufficiency or Addison's disease, two conditions where the adrenal glands are damaged and can't produce enough cortisol at all. Those are serious, measurable disorders that require urgent medical treatment. But adrenal fatigue is different. It's not a total failure of the glands, it's a gradual dysregulation. The stress response system is still working, but poorly. The signals between your brain and your adrenal glands become confused. Hormone levels might still fall within the so-called normal range, but they may no longer match your body's real needs. And because those lab results don't scream emergency, doctors often assume you're just anxious, lazy, or burned out. This is where functional medicine and holistic approaches offer something different. Instead of asking, are your levels within the normal limits, they ask, are you thriving? Is your body adapting well to stress? Are your symptoms matching what you feel inside? Because ultimately, you know your body better than anyone. You know when something has shifted, when the old ways of pushing through no longer work, when you're surviving but far from thriving. That's what adrenal fatigue feels like, and it deserves to be taken seriously. Thankfully, once you understand the mismatch between what you're feeling and what standard medicine is testing for, you can begin to take your health into your own hands. You can look beyond the numbers and start listening to your symptoms, because those symptoms, they're not random. They're signals. They're your body's way of asking for help. In the next part of this video, we'll explore what healing really looks like, not a quick fix or a pill, but a roadmap for restoring balance, step by step. Step-by-step recovery, reclaiming your energy. The good news is, adrenal fatigue isn't permanent. Your body wants to heal. It's wired for balance. But just like the fatigue didn't happen overnight, recovery takes time, care, and consistency. There's no magic pill, no one-size-fits-all solution. But there is a path, a clear, gentle, step-by-step journey back to energy, clarity, and strength. It all begins with rest, and not just sleeping more, but honoring deep rest. That means setting boundaries around your time and energy, going to bed earlier, winding down without screens, letting yourself take naps without guilt. Giving your body the space to recover starts with giving it permission to slow down. Next, focus on your sleep rhythm. Aim to go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends. Keep your bedroom cool, dark, and quiet. Avoid caffeine after noon, and if your mind races at night, try journaling before bed or using calming practices like deep breathing or light stretching. Sleep is when your adrenal system repairs itself. Protect it like a treasure. Then, nourish your body. Shift away from sugar, processed foods, and empty carbs. Instead, build your meals around whole, nutrient-rich foods. Think leafy greens, colorful vegetables, clean proteins like eggs, salmon, or beans, and healthy fats like avocado and olive oil. These aren't just good for your body, they're fuel for your hormones. Stable blood sugar means less stress on your adrenals. Try to eat at regular times and avoid skipping meals. Your body needs consistency now more than ever. Hydration matters too. Many people with adrenal fatigue are slightly dehydrated all the time. Drink water throughout the day and consider adding a pinch of sea salt or electrolyte drops to help your body absorb it better. Remember, aldosterone, the hormone that regulates fluids, can be low when your adrenals are struggling. Movement should be gentle and supportive, not draining. If you're used to high-intensity workouts, now's the time to pause. Your body isn't weak, it's healing. Try walking in nature, slow yoga, or even Tai Chi. These movements calm your nervous system, stimulate circulation, and rebuild strength without overwhelming your system. And perhaps, most important of all, manage your stress. It doesn't mean avoiding all problems in life, but it does mean changing how you respond to them. Set boundaries, say no without guilt, make space for quiet, meditate, breathe deeply, do something creative that lights you up. Talk to someone who listens without judgment. Your emotional well-being is not separate from your physical health. It's the foundation of it. You might also consider supportive supplements, depending on your needs: vitamin C, B-complex, magnesium, and adaptogenic herbs like ashwagandha or rhodiola can gently support adrenal function. But don't self-prescribe. Work with a practitioner who understands this journey. Let your healing be informed, not rushed. Above all, be patient. Healing adrenal fatigue is not about pushing harder. It's about listening closer. Your body has been whispering for a long time. This is your time to respond with care, attention, and love. In the final part of this video, we'll look at how to make this healing last, how to build resilience so you don't just recover, you stay strong, balanced, and full of life for the long run. Long-term health, how to build stress resilience. Recovery isn't the end of the story. It's the beginning of a new chapter. One where you live in partnership with your body instead of in constant battle against it. Once you've started to heal from adrenal fatigue, the real goal becomes something deeper. Resilience. Not just bouncing back when life gets hard, but staying steady through the ups and downs, staying grounded, clear, and whole, even when the world feels chaotic. So how do you build that kind of strength? It starts with awareness. You have to learn to recognize the early signs before they spiral. Is your sleep getting shallow again? Are you reaching for coffee more often? Do you feel that old familiar brain fog creeping in? Don't wait for a crash. When you notice the warning signs, slow down, adjust, recenter. Resilience isn't about never getting knocked down. It's about how quickly and gently you can return to balance. Second, make your daily habits non-negotiable. These are your anchors. Go to bed on time. Move your body every day, even if it's just a slow walk. Eat food that nourishes you, not just your cravings. Breathe deeply, make space for quiet moments, and protect your mornings and evenings. These bookends of your day are powerful. How you begin and end each day shapes your entire nervous system. Third, learn to say no. Say no to things that drain you, to people who take more than they give, to obligations that don't align with your values. Protect your energy like it matters, because it does. You've already learned what happens when you ignore your needs. Now it's time to honor them without apology. Build a relationship with stillness, even just 5 minutes a day. Sit without your phone, without distractions, and just breathe. Let your mind and body remember what it feels like to simply exist without doing. These small practices are like daily deposits into your energy bank. Over time, they build real strength. And don't forget your emotional health. Your body hears every thought you think. It responds to fear, guilt, and self-criticism the same way it responds to a physical threat. So be kind to yourself. Speak gently. Celebrate your progress, even when it feels small. Healing isn't linear, and you're not behind. You're exactly where you need to be. As you continue this journey, remember, you don't have to do it alone. Seek out community. Surround yourself with people who support your healing, who lift you up, who listen when you say, "I'm tired," without trying to fix you. Sometimes, the most healing thing we can hear is, "I understand." The truth is, adrenal fatigue was never just about hormones. It was about the way you were living and what your body was forced to endure. Now, you've chosen a different path, a path of healing, of slowing down, of listening, and that choice will change everything. So take a deep breath. You've come a long way, and you have everything you need to keep going, one mindful, powerful step at a time.